Pay to win has basically been the biggest drama around Grow a Garden, the new up-and-coming, super popular Roblox game. And it seemed that the pay to win was just going to get worse and worse when they dropped an update where the seeds were super rare, and the only way to get a ton of seeds super fast was Robux. But there is good news. Slowly but surely, Jandel, the owner of the game, has basically been letting us know that he is working on free-to-play and actually showing it in the updates he has been making, which is why today we're going to be going over free to play and pay to win in Grow a Garden, and I'm going to be telling you guys why it's actually getting a lot better. Anyways, right before I get into this, we're trying to hit 100k as fast as possible, so please subscribe. It's literally free. Hit that button. Let's go. I think it makes a lot of sense that we start here on the Do Big Studios website, because if you guys didn't know, Do Big Studios is a game that actually bought out Fish, which used to be a very popular game. I made a ton of videos on it, and it started my YouTube career. The game Fish used to have around 400,000 players, and now it has 20,000 people playing it. But that's where we go to Grow a Garden. Grow a Garden still currently has 1.1 million people playing it at a single time. And guys, this is on the Do Big Studios website. So obviously it had me and many other people thinking, why did Jandel, the owner of the game, sell his game to Do Big Studios? Because they're literally just going to make it pay to win and ruin the game just like they did to Fish, Blade Ball, A Dusty Trip, and probably every single other game that they own. So yeah, I mean, we thought that was bad news. And by we, I mean myself and many other YouTubers actually made videos on this, including people like Creekcraft, who actually just recently made a video on it like 2 days ago. But in my video, I actually did some investigative action, and I went in the Discord server saying, why is the game pay to win? Why is this? Why is that? Talking to some of the moderators. And basically what they were telling me is, first thing that they were telling me is Do Big does not own the game. Do Big does not own the game. And that's what they were telling everybody else in the Discord server as well. But obviously that didn't make sense. I knew they had to have something to do with the game, so I kind of just kept grilling the moderators until they told me something. And eventually I got this. Okay, but they don't own the whole game. After he told me, oh, they own a percentage of the game, then I was like, well, what? A percentage? So you're just admitting now that they actually do own part of the game, whatever. Everyone's basically talked about this already. Now I actually know the final and basically the full truth. Jandel himself actually released a Discord message, and you know, I should go find it. 1 second. Not gonna lie, I couldn't find the actual message from Jandel himself, but this is one of the trial moderators saying this. Do Big owns 25% and doesn't have a say of what's in the updates. And then another message from the same mod, shout out Noah. He said, Do Big only owns 25% and Jandel and the devs own the rest and make all the update decisions. Do. And I mean, that was a whole big fiasco and whatnot, but after that, the Lunar Glow update actually dropped, and it was so bad on the first day, and let me just tell you guys why. If you didn't know, in the Moonlit update, the thing that you guys need to actually, you know, actually do the update without paying with Robux is Moonlit mutation fruits. You get those during the night events, and they have a pretty small chance of appearing, but at least they actually appear now. Guys, when the update first came out, Moonlit fruits were at like 0.000% chance of dropping. Please take a look at all these Discord messages from all the people who were spamming spam buff Moonlit, buff Moonlit, buff Moonlit. There was just so many people going in the Discord message and spamming buff it, please buff it. And guys, it was horrible, and especially horrible because literally, okay, basically you give your Moonlit fruits to this owl. I'm sure you guys already know this, but you need the Moonlit fruit or you cannot get any of the new seeds, you cannot get any of the new pets, you cannot get any of the new eggs to get the pets, and you cannot get any of these night staffs as well. So it definitely makes sense that people were mad. Like, you would go 3-4 hours in the game without getting any Moonlit. Me personally, I was in the game for 6 hours. Yes, 6 consecutive nights. If you don't know, the night event basically happens every single hour. I was in there for at least 6 or 7 nights. And guys, I didn't get any Moonlit fruit. So I assume a lot of people experienced the same exact thing as me. And this was the peak of the pay to win drama, because the only way you could get the new pet gets from the update is literally by paying with Robux for the eggs and the seed packs. But this is when it starts to turn around. All right, this was the worst part, but it did start to turn around when Jandel himself actually released this message in the Discord server. Okay, sorry, this wasn't Jandel himself, but this was his first update. Later, we're going to talk about Jandel and something he said literally 2 days ago about the next up and coming update. But this is what happens. Fruit now turn moonlit at night more consistently. Make sure to look very carefully if you have a big garden. They fixed the night staff. So I mean, that was the first issue, but then the second issue is that even when you got some of the really good plants like the moon blossom, the star fruits that I have here, the moon glow, they literally weren't that good. Like, they sold for basically nothing, in the fact that it was so hard to even get these moon glows, these moonlit seeds, even after all the buffs and whatnot. It was still really annoying because you did all that work for seeds that genuinely just weren't that good. But the good news about it is Jandel also heard those, and he released another update where they buffed every single night plant, including the moon blossom, moon glow, starflow, moonflower, mint, glowshroom, nightshade, and basically everything. But then once again, there was another problem because there were so many problems with this update that needed to be fixed. But the last problem is that the cost to reset the lunar point quest, because if you don't reset it, you can only get 12 seed packs and 13 eggs, was 1 billion shekels. That's a lot of money. But the good news is, once again, they reduced the price from 1 billion to 500 million, which is still a lot, but definitely a lot better. I was actually in the game when the seeds got buffed, and Jandel was actually sending server messages in the game saying this: I will announce a new update soon, but we are focused on the free to play this week, so we hope that we can cook for you. So this is basically where all the hopes started to come back. We found out that Jandel was actually doing right by the people of Grow a Garden. And I mean, after all this updates, all the updates, it definitely seemed like he was, even more so when he finally sent this message about the up and coming Blood Moon update. Why am I not on Discord? Hold on. But here it is. He sent this message saying, we heard everyone's feedback about the event, so this week we are adding something new to the nighttime event, Blood Moon. It can occur every 3 hours, and when a blood moon occurs, there is a higher moonlit chance a special blood moon shop will appear from the ground. And everyone, and I mean everyone including myself, was asking for it to be like the Easter shop. Instead of having to pay with moonlit points, you could pay with shekels, which are the actual in-game currency, and that he did. He delivered, because as you guys can see, the blood moon shop is stuff that you can buy with shekels, and there's a mysterious crate, which we don't know what that is yet. I'll let you guys know on the update. Obviously, subscribe to me because I have the best update videos and things like that. But you can buy night seed packs, eggs, and crimson vine, new moon melons, star collar. There's going to be a new mutation, and you can buy that. Like, it's actually nice. And all I have to say is that so far, Jandel has been cooking, and it looks like, even though Dubig owns 25% of the game, they aren't like actually in charge of the update decisions. And I mean, that's what it looks like. It looks very good. I'm very, very hopeful and excited for the next updates in this game. If you guys enjoyed this video, subscribe. See you guys in the next one. Peace out.